Truly incredible in a negative sense video coming out of the University of Kansas today of a professor saying shocking and despicable things in some type of classroom. This video is only about 30 seconds long. We'll play it here, then we'll react.
Guys are smarter than girls. You got some serious problems. Uh, that's what frustrates me. There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works.
So first of all, why is this guy so out of breath? I never even caught that the first time I watched this, but let's shoot males. Go to the gym, dude. Get your priorities straight. Number two, this is just an evil statement objectively. I don't know how you can defend this. Some people actually did. I'll show those in a second. One at least relatively large account that looks like she went to the school where this guy's teaching was trying to defend this. Unbelievable. If you don't vote for a woman according to this guy because you think that because she's a woman she's not as smart, you should be lined up and shot. I'm gonna just get his exact wording here again.
What frustrates me, there are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't.
So basically, if your position on an election is you do not want a woman president because you think a man is smarter, which I don't like, that wouldn't be. I would vote for a woman president if I thought she was better than the male president or whatever. But you're allowed to have that position, dude. You should not be lined up and shot for that. That is unbelievable. Just the thought, the fact he vocalized this to a bunch of people is disgusting. You're allowed to, in a free society, have that idea in your head if you want to. If you want to be like, well, I'm going to vote for a man, I think men are smarter. That's not like, again, that's not a take I would have. But you're allowed to think that. You're allowed to just discriminate on that behalf. Doesn't mean you should be lined up and shot. This guy is totally out of his mind. This is insane. And just as an example, like, picture this in the opposite direction. Do you think there's any people in the election coming up, or just in any election in general, who will always vote for a woman over a man? Of course. They're allowed to do that if you want to. I don't agree with that style of thinking, but you're allowed to have that position. It's called democracy. It's called freedom. You're allowed to vote however you conceive it in your head. This guy he thinks, like, imagine if this guy was in power, how scary society would be. This guy's a professor at University of Kansas who was not immediately fired, by the way. I'm going to finish his statement out because he tries to, he does not walk this back at all. He catches himself, but he doesn't correct himself at all. He just says, please don't write that down so the deans do not see. So watch this here, and then we'll go to the University of Kansas response.
Don't understand the way the world works. Did I say that? Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the deans hearing that I said that.
So again, I don't want the deans to hear that. Like, imagine listening to this guy lecture. He's just breathing into the mic. Go to the gym, dude. So this is the University of Kansas response to this, which I think is totally not a great response. They say, the university is aware of a classroom video in which an instructor made an inappropriate reference to violence. The instructor is being placed on administrative leave pending further investigation. So far, reasonable. I mean, they didn't immediately fire him, but I think so far the statement seems pretty normal, seems pretty standard. This is where it gets, like, University of Kansas is a hack facility, hack administration, in my opinion. The instructor offers his sincerest apologies and deeply regrets the situation. Does he, though? He said, scrub it, I don't want anyone to see that. He didn't say, oh, wow, that was really evil. I should not have said that. I apologize. Maybe that's a thought. Maybe I should go to therapy and figure out why I think this craziness. This next part is inexcusable stuff from University of Kansas. His intent was to emphasize his advocacy for women's rights and equality, and he recognizes he did a very poor job of doing so. This is completely a lie. There's no way his intent was to emphasize his advocacy for women's rights and equality. His position is completely just that men who vote from a position of viewing gender, which again, I don't agree with that mindset, but he's basically just in this statement calling a certain segment of men who might do this worthy of being shot. That's his position. He's not advocating for women's rights. If you're advocating for women's rights, I mean, you'd say something pro-woman or women are capable and women could be president. But he's doing this saying, like this, there's nothing pro-woman about what he's saying. He's just anti a certain group of hypothetical men who he thinks shouldn't be punished. He thinks they should be lined up and shot. Why is University of Kansas trying to like sugarcoat that? His intent was to emphasize his advocacy for women's rights and equality. It clearly wasn't. This is so bizarre. Imagine if you went to the school, how upset you'd be. The university, they said the final statement, the university has an established process for situations like this and will follow that process. That is like, just that one line there about, oh, he was trying to advocate for women's rights. Give me a break. 10 out of 10 woke, 10 out of 10 brainwashed, 10 out of 10 pathetic. Shame on University of Kansas. And then this person here, nice clickbait, but that's not even close to what he said. He simply explained that if a man refuses to vote for a female candidate solely based on them viewing women as incapable or less intelligent. So far, I think that's not a great, that I would not agree with that at all. And I would actually make a video calling that out because I do not like that mindset. I do not think it's true. And, but I definitely argue against that position because I do not think that is a valid position. But then the next part, listen to this though. I mean, these people are out of their minds. Then they should be shot. Obviously, he did not mean it literally. How would you know? He didn't mean it literally. How would you know? There was no indication that that was a joke. In brackets, but I agree. So this Gabby Gregory agrees with the sentiment that people that vote that way should be shot. So shame on you, Gabby. I would say based on this alone, I could conclude that you're a scumbag. Why you're putting out complete hate into the world. There are people, you're allowed to, again, have a view that you just think men are better at running a country. You're allowed to think that if you want to. It's not great, but people should not be advocating that you're lined up and shot for that. This is not freedom. That's not what you do in a society with law and order. And there's the freedom of consciousness. You're allowed to think things like that. So these people, Gabby Gregory, University of Kansas, obviously the professor, shame on all of them. With that said, I'll finish the video here. But let me know your thoughts, please, in the comments. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. As I said, have a great day.